What up, YouTube? It is I am me, Yasha23. So look, today I wanted to bump it up a notch, and I wanted to really discuss one of the topics and the subjects that is near and dear to my heart, and that is definitely, most decadently, astrology. I want to discuss the astrological bodies, what they mean, vibration, who are you, DNA activation, and the sun's orbit around the actual solar system. So let's talk about it. So, what is vibration? What is vibration? What is, when people talk about vibe, when they say, man, I like his vibe, or I really don't like her vibe, or, it's something about their vibe that's different or off, they're speaking about the individual's vibrational frequency. You see what I'm saying? And so when we speak about vibrational frequency, I'm going to break down the actual scientific dynamic behind an individual having high vibrational frequency and an individual having low vibrational frequency. What is the differentiation between the two, and why is there a differentiation between the two? So, for an example, right? I'm going to show you this real quick. This is an example of, and it looks backwards. I hope it's not backwards on this camera. But this is an example of vibration, right? So all vibrational sound wave ecliptics are within a 12 vibrational radiancy, right? So say for instance, if you've seen a person take the string off of a guitar and thrown the string off of a guitar, the vibration of the actual moving, or the frequency of the sound of the guitar, is what is the exemplification of vibration, right? So remember, everything is vibration, and some things are vibrationally inclined, so much so that we are not able to see it with the naked eye. So like sitting here right now, around me is a auric vibrational force field around me that is vibrating, and these squiggly lines that you see are actually in a vibrational continuum, and they're actually moving and vibrating in terms of frequency. Now, the difference between an individual vibrating at a lower frequency and an individual vibrating at a higher frequency, meaning the 12 vibrational frequency alignments are moving faster. They're moving more rapid. So rather than this moving really slowly like this, rather than this moving extremely slowly like this, a person with a high vibration is actually operating where it looks like a little bit like that. You feel me? In terms of rapid rate, in terms of speed, in terms of telepathy, in terms of movement and mind recognition abilities. So that is vibrational frequency. Now, an interesting thing that's taking place with a lot of the chosen people, a lot of the starseeds, a lot of the empaths, and I've been saying this on videos after videos after videos. An interesting thing that is taking place is a lot of these individuals are going through what is called DNA activation. Okay, so say for instance, if these people were a part of a royal priesthood or a royal bloodline from lifetimes and lifetimes previous and generations previous beforehand, this individual has that actual active DNA within the force field, within the Kundalini, within the actual Akashic record DNA. So when a person gets to a specific place in their life, like when you came through this lifetime and your orchestration was at this age, at this time, at this date, at this period, no matter what's going on in this individual's life, this person is going to wake up to the activation of their DNA. So when a person wakes up to the activation of the DNA and the vibration begins to increase, remember, increase in terms of speed and terminology. When a person wakes up to the actual DNA, the frequency in a person's body increases so much so that not only does this vibration increase by way of speed, but the way that this frequency looks, remember, every vibrational frequency comes in a wave of 12, right? And I'm gonna I'm going to explain this by showing you the actual globe of the 12 astrological bodies. Okay, so, but say for instance, if this was a frequency with a 12 vibraic strands of vibration, right? Say for instance, once an individual begins to vibrate a little bit higher and the sound wave of frequency within the individual becomes a little bit higher, and I'm going to express to you what happens, and I'm going to express to you how to encourage the happening. But what takes place within the DNA is, as these vibrational frequencies are increasing, doesn't that sort of look like a 12-strand DNA to you, right? So the 12-strand DNA, as it is increasing from here, speeding up and perpetuating a faster cycle of inclination and ascension, right? The 12 strands of DNA becomes active. It becomes activated. It becomes strengthened, right? And this sort of looks, I am a horrible artist right now, but this sort of looks like the indication of what 12-strand DNA activation really looks like. And I know that a lot of people have been walking into their calling and walking into their gifts and walking into their abilities. And I know that I have like a lot of people that I follow that are just saying things like, man, I woke up with the ability to do this, or I was able to wake up and perfect this ability, or I've been seeing, you know, these repeating numbers and this ability to understand this or comprehend this or see this or speak this came along with that. You know what I'm saying? So the ability to dance, as I've said before, has always been a frequency from the within. However, because of DNA activation and these frequencies and these vibratory fields has increased, the 12-strand DNA activation begins to enhance itself, and it begins to orchestrate more strands of DNA. So if an individual began originally, say for instance, with 12, this may not be factual, but if an individual began originally with 12 strands of DNA, that may very well double and increase, and an individual's vibratory field may also double and increase within the 12-strand DNA activation. That is amazing. That is amazing, because that's what's taking place within our planet right now. Because as I've said before, 2,000 years previous to the Great Awakening Ascension, I mean the great on December 21st, the great conjunction where Jupiter and Saturn had an experience where they typically kind of squared off with one another. But what also had taken place during this time was these actual planetary astrological bodies were moving backwards, so that the age of Pisces, which was a 2,000-year age, previous times to Aquarius, because as the ages go, let me show you this. I'm gonna write it down. As the ages go, I mean, as the astrological planets go in one way, clockwise, the actual age era goes counterclockwise, right? So for instance, if Aries would be the head, all right, in terms of astrology, right? And then we have the 12 astrological bodies, and then we get to Pisces, which would also be the feet. You feel me? What happens in terms of planetary shifting and alignment within the universe is these ages move backwards, right? So we go from Pisces to Aquarius, and I'm not about to show you all this. I just had to write it down, okay? So for a period of 2,000 years, we were in the age of Pisces here. You feel me? Now, beginning from Aries, but for a period of 2,000 years, we were in this age right here, which is the age of Pisces. Now, because a new golden age era had begun, a new a new era had begun and a new age had begun in the Aquarius water bearer era, right? This era had been the inclination of things shifting and changing in times to transition into the age of awakening, or the age of Aquarius, or the age of enlightenment, or the age of information, or the age of water, the age of the water bearer, the age of the informational technological era. You see what I mean? So Pisces was the age previous beforehand, which was the industrial era, okay, for which individuals from the early 1950s or the early 1940s, from that period of industrial technological advancement. Now we're moving from the industrial technological advancement, because remember, in the 1940s and the 1950s on a long time, and this is in terms of history, so you guys do your own research, but from that period of time in the industrialized era, America had came from its worst poverty stricken, how do you put it, its worst poverty stricken Great Depression, right? So when the industrial era came along with all these different machineries and all these different industrial jobs and all these different warehouse opportunities, Ford, we got Ford, we got Chevy, we got all of these different in-home automobile companies and all these automobile corporations, and these different corporations had begun to build themselves in the 1940s, which was in the continuum of the Pisces era, which was the industrial era, right? But not only was it the industrial era, it was also the era of racism. It was also the era of classism. It was also the era of globalism. It was also the area of capitalism. It was also the area of genocide. It was also the area of homicide. It was the area of bloodshed. You know what I mean? So now that we're moving into the age of Pisces, what's taking place within the chosen ones and the star babies and the star seeds is they're waking up to their activation, and they're waking up to the frequency and the DNA strands of activation that is causing these individuals to align with the actual planet DNA. The DNA, I mean, the universe has a perpetual DNA. The universe has a perpetual diagnostic DNA, and we are a part of that perpetual diagnostics. We are part of the perpetual frequency. We are the actual first fruits of the frequency of the alignment of the planet, pulling from a chaotic era to a era of light, and the era of light workers, and the era of information, and the era of technological advances. Okay, so boom, I want to move on from that, and I want to discuss space. I want to discuss astrology. I want to discuss what takes place during the ecliptic, what takes place during the cycles of the sun, and astrology, and the relevance of the four elements and its meanings and its seasons, the number 4 and its relevance, the 4 gospels, the 4 seasons, the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 aspects of metaphysics. These things go hand in hand. In fact, astrotheology is it is the protein of the meal of the essence of life. You see what I'm saying? So if an individual isn't astrologically inclined, does not mean that that person is not chosen. However, when the actual strands of DNA and frequency activation begin to increase within the individual, this knowledge and this wisdom and this information is begun to become second nature for people. Let me tell you something. 2 years ago, I had no notion of anything that I'm speaking of, and I will not speak of a thing unless I know that I am willing to die behind the information that I give, meaning that it is doctrine and it is truth. I've said before, I'm a Sagittarius. And then I'm a Virgo rising, so I respect the analytics of information. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get into it. All right. So say, for instance, we were looking at the exemplification of the actual globe. Say, for instance, this is the globe of Earth. This is Earth. This is Earth. All right. Say, for instance, this is the exemplification, the example of Earth. Right. So what takes place? Damn, I hope y'all can see that. So what takes place in the sun's orbit around Earth, because astrologers and researchers believed many years previous to this inclination of information of time, many astrologers believe that the sun is the center of the orbit's solar system. So, and that, however, they believe that the Earth is the center of the solar system, right? They believe that Earth is the middle of the planetary solar system, so meaning that every planet that orbits anything will be the orbit of Earth. However, that is not factually true. Every planet orbits the sun, you feel me? But the sun also orbits Earth. So what takes place is on March the 21st, which is the beginning of the ecliptic of Aries, which is also supposed to be the beginning of the year rather than January the 1st. But it is supposed to be the beginning of the ecliptic of the year because the sun begins here, right? The sun begins in the season of Aries at the beginning of any astrological year on March the 21st. This is the summer solstice ecliptic, all right? So then we go from Aries to Taurus, all right? Then the sun moves from Aries to Taurus. Then the sun moves from Taurus to Gemini in May, May 21st, which is also another solstice and ecliptic. We go from Cancer, which is also June the 21st, which is another ecliptic, which is one of the major ecliptics because Cancer also is simplification of the moon, right? And I'm going to speak specifically about the movements of the actual moon. But when the sun is here, June the 21st, beginning the solstice or the equinox of Cancer or the summer season, okay, the sun actually moves from Cancer here, where it is one of its most excited places, because remember, anytime that the sun is on the northern hemisphere, now mind you, this is the northern hemisphere. These 6 planets on the upper region of this actual globe is the northern hemisphere, okay? This is the equator, right? This is the equator. This is what divides the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. Now, any two times that the sun is in the sign or the planets of the northern hemisphere, which is the 6 above astrological bodies, the sun is at its happiest place. It is at its happiest state because remember, March the 21st, beginning at Aries, is when the sun comes from a dead place, which is Pisces. Remember, everything moves in a counterclockwise motion clockwise motion in terms of the sun. So it will continue to do this cycle and continue to do this cycle as it continues to do this cycle. As for an example, as Monday is the orbit of, Monday is the continuum of the actual name in the actual week. So Sunday ends a perpetual week. Monday recreates a perpetual week. The world, in terms of months, days, dates, there's 28 days for every single individual moon cycle. So every 28 days, these bodies are going to change. You feel what I'm saying? So when the sun is in the northern hemisphere, it is at its happiest state because all of these astrological signs in the northern hemisphere are more empowered by the actual existence of the sun at this period of time. Now, when the sun is between Virgo and Libra, okay, Virgo and Libra, the sun is at its weighing place and it is in balance between the scales and the actual essence of Mary. So the sun leaves from the northern hemisphere in Virgo around September the 21st, which is actually this is the ecliptic of that season. Then it goes to Libra, where the sun is being weighed by the scales of the universe. Then it goes to Scorpio. Then it goes to Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and then it reemerges at March the 21st on the actual summer solstice equinox. Okay, so now I want to discuss the number 4 because its relevance. The number 4's relevance to you, me, and the existence of the astrological universe is so relevant because we have 4 seasons, we have 4 gospels, we have 4 metals, we have 4 corners of the earth. We have four dimensions of consciousness. So In terms of the number 4, and I don't know if y'all can see this, but I'm sure hoping so. I need a blackboard, y'all. Support the channel. So the 4 states of matter: earth, air, fire, water, and earth, air, fire, and water. All right. So in terms of this, we also get in earth we get Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. In air we get Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. In fire we get Leo, Virgo. In fire we get Leo, Virgo, and Sagittarius. And in water we get Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So but then also water is winter, summer is fire, air is autumn, earth is fall. Okay, so the interesting thing about this is each and every one of these different parts of the season of each and every month has an example or is an exemplification of astrology and the alignments of the actual astrological body of one body, one person, one body, one meaning, one feeling, one emotion, right? So if we're going to begin in Aries, right, during this season there will be a focus on the cerebral and the spinal cord, because the spine is an actual extension of the brain, right? So we have in Aries, we have the cerebral and the spinal system, right? Okay, that's beginning in March the 21st, at the beginning of this solstice. So this is a great time to focus on the mental constructs, the mental capacity for things and information, and the actual alignment of the mental capacity with the actual body, with the actual universe, and the solar system is the alignment for your perspective during Aries season. So then we move to Taurus, right? And Taurus rules the mouth, Taurus rules the throat, and Taurus also rules the cerebellum, which is the nerve in the back of the brain that orchestrates certain parts and certain functions of the body. Okay, so then we move to Gemini, which would be the twins, the twin bronchial tubes, which also heavily has a lot to do with the throat. And we have the hands. Okay, hands. Now, as Gemini being the twins, the hands and the twin bronchial tubes is the inclination of Gemini. So then we move to Cancer, okay? And Cancer has a specialized inclination of the actual internal organs, the bowels, the guts, the kidneys, the this, the that, you know. So internal organs is what will be the best thing to focus on in terms of Cancer season, actually in this season, because this is Cancer season, which would be the best time to focus on internal organs. Okay, so then we go from Cancer to Cancer to Leo. Okay, now Leo is the ruler of the heart and or the emotions. It is the ruler of Le Corleone. Le Corleone, the heart of the lion. Le Corleone, the heart of the lion. Le Corleone, the heart of the lion. The lion, Leon. Okay? So, in the Leo season, it's very, 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 very important to focus on the heart chakra, the emotions, the I feel, how I feel, what I feel, how I feel about what I feel, and what to do about what I feel about how I feel about that. Okay? So then we go from Leo to where we go? Leo. Ooh, I'm typically never forgetting things. Okay, so we go from Leo to Virgo. Virgo is the ruler of the actual essence. Okay, so during September, okay, during the Virgo season or the September season, it is very important to focus on your spiritual essence, your mental essence, your emotional essence, the force field and the vibratory intellectual energy that you put into everything that you do, in terms of manifestation, in terms of finances, in terms of family, in terms of love, and most importantly in terms of your creative ability, because there is nobody that works harder than the Virgo. If I had the money to hire any team of individuals, I want them all to be Virgos. I want them all to be Virgos. I don't want anybody on my team that is not a Virgo. Period. I'm a Virgo rising. I know what I come with. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. Virgo season, September, is a very important time to focus on the actual essence of the being of the individual and what is the matter of magistrate for that person. Okay? So, boom. We leave Virgo. We go to Libra, right? Now, Libra is the balance and the diagnostic understanding between the mental vortex. Okay, so it is also the balance between symmetry. All right, so if a person is standing up straight, okay, Libra is the balance between the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain, the left side of the body and the right side of the body, in perfect symmetry with the balancing of the scales. Okay, so then we go to Scorpio season. All right, Libra season, October. It is the time to focus on balance and the things that makes you feel balanced, the things that makes you feel balanced in your work life dynamics, the things that makes you feel balanced in your emotional sector, the things that makes you feel balanced within, and the things that makes you feel good about yourself, and the ways to pamper and love on yourself based upon the Venus energy of Libra. Okay, so then we go to Scorpio. Scorpio is the ruler of the phallus. Okay, so during the November month's time, it is very, very, very significant to focus on your internal, your procreative organs. If individuals are trying to get pregnant, if people are trying to procreate, if people are trying to have babies, if people are trying to just, sow their royal oats, this is a very important time to focus on your actual sexuality. It is the time to focus on how you commune and conduct yourself in terms of sexuality with other individuals. And if individuals are not having sex and they are on the celibacy path, it is a very important time to focus on sexual transmutation and how to procreate with the sexual energy in terms of the Scorpio season. All right, so we go to Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius rules the thighs and the hips. Okay, Sagittarius rules the thighs and the hips. So during the Sagittarius season, the best thing that I would express in terms of the actual functions and the focusing of the body and the astrological planets and the planet within itself is the thighs and the hips and the area of your body for which that takes you places when you get up and you walk and you move. Sagittarius season is about getting up, walking, moving, traveling, because in order for in order for an individual to move forward, they're going to have to move. They're going to have to rise. They're going to have to move. They're going to have to travel. They're going to have to be willing to stand up and walk. Okay, so the Archer season is about the ability to travel, move, change the dynamic of your situation and move forward. Okay, henceforth the hips and the thighs. All right. Capricorn season is the dynamic that focus on the actual shins, the actual knees and the actual shins, the knees and the shins. So example, this is my knee, okay, this is my shin, this is my knee, this is my shin, this is my knee, this is my shin. This is the connector of the actual Capricornian structure, because it is the connection of the body part or the body structure that prefers or refers to the bone structure, the bone system. Okay, so this portion of the body, this portion of the leg is not where the leg gets its strongest function of movement. However, this portion of the body holds a very significant terminology as it pertains to the body's calcium. You know what I'm saying? The body's calcium, Capricorn, calcium, the kneecaps and the shins of the body, okay? So then we move to Aquarius, which is the actual ankles, okay? The ankles, the bone, the tendon in the back of the ankle, the tendons in the back of the ankle, that portion of the body. And then we go to Pisces, which is always going to be the feet. If Aries is the head, Pisces is always going to be the feet. Now, the significance of the season of Pisces and the thing to focus on in the season of Pisces is the feet. The structure of where you place your heel, your Achilles heel, your heel. That can be your heel. Your heel can be your heel in Pisces season, because the feet take you wherever you need to go. The feet is the journey. The feet is the traveler. The feet is the the structure of the body that takes an individual forward, sort of like the Sagittarius, because both of these individual astrological bodies are ruled by Jupiter being the biggest planet of expansion and the wheel of fortune, and an ability, in the individual's ability to manifest and move forward, right? So Pisces would be the exemplification of the actual feet. Okay, so these different structures of the body are going to be different seasons of the actual body that is going to need additional preparation. I'm coming up with some very important products. I'm coming up with some very important brand lines. Look, y'all, I'm working. Okay, I'm working. But the most important structure of everything that I do is to bring about information that individuals can go and refer to and learn from, like my teachers and my master teachers and my divine guides have sent me forth into the circle of life, in terms of learning everything that I'm going to need to know to procreate with the universe and understand information. Because one thing about it, two things for certain: if you understand astrology, you are the magician. There is no thing that you can do outside of yourself or anything in terms of your actual existence, in terms of astrology, if you understand how the planets move, how the bodies move, and understand your astrological chart. Listen, I know that 1,000 people are like completely promoting helping you with your birth chart. Be careful with that. You know, a lot of people really have really good factual information in terms of how to help an individual, how to look at a person's birth chart, how to understand how to heal, you know, certain parts and certain aspects of the body. However, I say just simply be careful with that. However, seek out these people. If there's classes you can take in terms of astrology and theology, I encourage you to do so. And so, yeah, I love y'all. I'm coming up with these products, I'm coming up with these brands, and I'm doing everything that I can to actually promote this brand and promote I Am Yasha 23 and push that forward. You know, I love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Jupiter day. I send love, positive energy, and enlightenment, and I'm out. Peace.